Aboard Air Force One this week, Donald Trump was taking questions from reporters, and he was in an uncharacteristically good mood. But he didn't want to actually answer any of their questions. In fact, at one point, he was asked a question about whether Turkish leader Erdogan was going to kind of help maybe broker peace between Russia and Ukraine. And instead of answering that question, Donald Trump started openly, awkwardly, peculiarly fantasizing about Caroline Leavitt's lips. Yeah, the question was not about Caroline Leavitt. Let's make sure everybody understands that. This demented, senile, elderly predator ignored the question completely, asked himself his own question about Caroline Leavitt, and then openly fantasized about her. Here's how that transpired. As I said, the question was, do you think Erdogan is going to help, with brokering a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine? And Trump said, how's Caroline doing? Is she doing good? Should Caroline be replaced? It'll never happen. That's just the start of it, okay? The question was about Erdogan and Turkey brokering peace between Russia and Ukraine. And Trump's like, how's Caroline doing? Doing pretty good. I like her. And then at that point, Caroline stepped in and she said, nobody wants to stick up for me. And then one reporter, of course, from Town Hall said, great job. And then Trump said this, that face, Katie, and those lips, they move like a machine gun, right? Which, of course, is not the first time that Donald Trump has openly fantasized about Caroline Leavitt's lips moving like a machine gun. Which, of course, is the most ironic thing ever, because all of the comedians on social media who make fun of Caroline Leavitt do it by basically tucking their lips in because she doesn't have very full lips. I'm not going to sit here and completely criticize the way she looks, but as all the comedians point out, she doesn't actually really have lips. So it's weird that Trump is fantasizing about those wafer-thin flaps covering her gums. But it doesn't take Sigmund Freud to, kind of discern what Donald Trump is fantasizing about when he talks about those, quote, machine gun lips. I think everybody can use your imagination, although I encourage you not to, because that's just not a thought you want in your head. But obviously Donald Trump is like, he wants her, and he's a predator. And based on what we've seen, the way Caroline looks at him, the way she describes him, kind of seems like she wants him too. I mean, not that long ago, a month or two ago, I talked about the fact that it kind of seems almost obvious that there is something going on between those two. Now, of course, I can't say for certain that these two are in fact having an affair, but based on what I've seen, to learn they were having an affair would not come as a surprise to me at all. But this is also exceptionally inappropriate. But more importantly than being inappropriate, it's dementia. He wasn't asked about Caroline Leavitt. He wasn't asked about anybody's lips and then pivoted to her lips. He was asked about Erdogan in Turkey brokering peace between Russia and Ukraine. Could that happen? And instead, this perverted 79-year-old senile creep started fantasizing openly with words about his own press secretary.